Hi guys, good morning. How you doing? All right, great. Um, we don't have to wait for everybody. I'm just going to go straight into the training proper, and probably the video is going to be available for others to actually see and go through later. Okay, so I guess we are done waiting. This video is not going to take too many hours. I'm probably going to spend maybe 30 minutes or less. Yeah. So I want each and every one of you to keep an open mind, so we'll be able to actually go through all this together. Okay. Yeah. First and foremost, my name is Akinola Jeremiah. A senior trader for Image Forex Global. It's a new company that just started off all because of the mind to actually help others to succeed when it comes to forex trading. Yeah, over the time we've been trying as much as possible to see how we can help others to build their financial wealth. And we looked at the forex as the biggest market, that the best platform anyone can join and actually have a benefit at the end of it. But a lot of people that have come in contact with um, have always spoken to me about the complexity of the market. Well, I look at it from a different perspective, that actually the forex market is not actually complex like it seems to be, but because of lack of proper training, and a lot of people out there actually don't have an idea themselves on how the market actually works. So it becomes very difficult for them to actually pass that message along. But if at the end of the day you are able to understand how the market itself moves, how the market itself plays, how those that make money from forex, how they actually make their money, then it becomes very easy for every individual to actually grab from it. So, and that is why we are at Image Forex Global are coming up to do for now this free training to enlighten people on how to actually take hold of the forex market and how they can benefit from it. So, my first video I actually talked about the introductory aspects. What are the things you need to know in the forex market? What are the things you need to do in the forex market? The terms and basic things that you need to know concerning the forex market. So, today I'm going to be diving into the forex market majorly, and I'm going to be opening up with um, how the market moves, who moves the market, all these trends you see in the market, who does them. From from here, all these moves in the market, yeah, who makes this move? If you understand the concept of the person that is actually driving the market, the key individual driving the market, then it becomes very easy for you to actually say, okay, if I understand that this is what this individual is doing, then I can actually hide under a shadow, knowing fully well that this individual will never lose in the market, whether I would like it or not. So, permit me to just get started. I want you to ask questions if there are any, then I'll also be able to give answers to them. So, please try as much as possible to comment. I'll be viewing your comment from here. I want to make sure that I'm passing a message across to the people around us. Okay, so let me get my screen so that we can do a few things. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. Woo moves markets? It's a very big question that we need to actually understand before we can say, okay, this is what I need to do. You must understand the individual that moves the market, then it becomes very easy for you to actually play along. So this is one of the questions we are going to be asking. Who moves the market? Who is the bigger player in the market? The bigger player in the market. So that's one of the aspects we are going to be digressing into. Who moves the market? Who are the bigger players in the market? How can I take that advantage of information to earn from the market? So looking at all this is one of the aspects I felt is very important that a lot of trainers don't talk about. They don't actually buttress about this because they themselves don't understand. They only analyze the market, but they don't actually find out who is the bigger player in the market. So it becomes very difficult for them to actually say, all right, this is what this individual is doing. This is what I need to do, and this is how I need to play my game. Okay, so all this we are going to be explaining when it comes to dealing with the forex market. So the first question: who moves the market? There are two categories of people in the market. So whether we actually like it or not, there are two categories of people. All right, there are two categories of people in the market, in the forex market. Okay. Sorry about that. So I have to use this. Two categories of people in the market. One, the first individual is the big boys. I call them the big boys. So the big boys, they are the first categories of people that are in the market. Okay, and these are people like Bill Gates, um, Buffett, Warren Buffett, um, what's the name of this guy that owns Amazon? World Bank. Okay, so you begin to have a picture. These are the bigger players in the market, the guys in Wall Street. Guys in Wall Street. These are the individuals that actually move the market. So all these trends, all these big movements you see in the market, from this point moving upward like this, down, upward, and you see at this point again, the market begins to retrace its steps back. These are the individuals that do it, that moves the market. So not the traders like me and you. no matter the amount of money we put in the forex market, it doesn't affect the market. It doesn't move the market 1 inch. So when you begin to see this picture, what do you do with the understanding of the people who move the market? Do you ever think Bill Gates is going to put billions of dollars into the forex market, billions of dollars into an investment, and is going to lose an amount of money? It's not possible. He won't lose a dime. Yeah, because they are the bigger players in the forex market. So they actually move the market. And for them, they can never lose in the forex market, whether we like it or not. So when you understand that information, what do you do with it? Now, let's take, for instance, I have to clean up this. Let me show. Okay, let's take for instance Bill Gates bought at this point in the market. He bought a kind of a factory, or he bought a new investment plan right there, and the market for him begins to ascend to this point. Please, I need you to follow me, okay? The market begins to aggravate to that point, and at this point, you see the market begins to retrace back. Now, from here again, the market moves. The market begins to move, and you see all these movements. All these movements in the market. Please, have a bigger picture. And it gets to this point, and he felt, well, at this point, I think Euro USD is going to begin to misbehave. USD is going to go up, and he decides to say, all right, this investment that I had made from here to this point, at this point, I need to sell it. I'm not buying anymore. I need to sell this. Now, at this point, you begin to imagine, who is he going to sell it to? Please, are you with me? He needs to sell this market to someone. Someone has to buy it from him. So the question is, who is buying this from Bill Gates? We assume Bill Gates did this, okay? Bought this investment, and he got to this point, and he has an information that the market is going to retrace back. USD is going to fall in price. Then the investment he has made from point A okay, from point A to point B, yeah, who is going to buy this from him? Who is he going to sell it to? And let's assume Bill Gates moves and said, well, Ryan Buffett, I bought this investment for so and so amount, and right now at this point, I'm not interested in continuing with the investment plan. I want to sell it to you. Do you think Ryan Buffett is going to buy that investment? No, Ryan Buffett will not buy it, because the information Bill Gates has as a big player of the market is the same information Ryan Buffett has as the big player of the market also. Ryan Buffett understands that at this point in the market, there's going to be a kind of a retracement back. At this point in the market, dollar is going to fall. All right? Now, Ryan Buffett will not say, well, because is my friend Bill Gates and we are both running the market. He wants to buy it from him. No, he won't do that. He's going to say, well, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to buy that. I know dollar is going to fall. So why will I buy that from you? But the question is, who is going to buy this? Now, this is where we as an individual, as the second player in the market, as the second player in the market, this is where we come in. We are the traders. So the traders begin to say, well, at this point, I'm going to buy this from Bill Gates because he doesn't have the information. He's looking for an opportunity to actually say, well, if Bill Gates is selling this to me, I have to grab it with both hands. I have to extract everything I need to get from it. This is a big investment plan. Are you getting me? So this is what we traders think. And he said, oh, well, I'm going to buy it. Give it to me, I'll buy it. Give it to me, I'll buy it. And eventually he buys it from Bill Gates. Look at what happened. At that point, the market begins to retrace itself back. Why? Why did the market fall back? After he has bought this, bought at this point from Bill Gates, why did the market decide to retrace its steps back? Please, are you having a bigger picture of what is going in the market? Now, if you have this information alone, it will help you to go as far as you can go in trading the Forex market. If you understand that at this point, certain reaction begins to occur, and the traders are the ones that buy this from the big men. The big men are the guys with the reward. Please, if you can take notes, please. The big guys, those I call the big guys in the market, they are the guys with the reward. Then who takes the risk? Who takes the risk? Who do you think will take the risk? The traders. Me and you takes the risks. Because we don't have the information that governs the Forex market. We don't have that information. And we are only looking for an opportunity to buy or to sell in the market without an information. And that is why a lot of traders fail in the market. That is why you discover someone invests his money into the Forex market. All he's looking for is an opportunity to buy in the market. An opportunity. Give me an opportunity and I'll buy it. But he doesn't have the information he needs to actually say whether to buy or to sell in the market. So it becomes very difficult for traders to actually make a living, make money in the Forex market. But if you have all this information of the moves of the big boys, then it becomes very easy for you to actually say, well, this is what I'm going to do. I need to hide under the shadows of the big boys. Okay? I hope you are getting me. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. So if you understand the move of the big men in the market, the moves of the big guys in the market, who are with the reward, they will never lose in the market. The fight is between the big guys, the rich guys, the wealthy guys in the market, and those who are coming into the market to take an advantage of the Forex market. So it becomes very difficult for traders, for traders like me and you who are only investing $1,000, investing $2,000, investing $500, even up to $10,000, up to $1 million. Traders like me and you, we are the guys with the risk, but the big guys are the guys with the reward. Please, so what we want to do, what I am here to teach you is you understanding the move of the big guys in the market. If you understand that move, then you can conveniently trade the forex market. I don't know where you have gotten your trainings from. I don't know who probably have given you lectures, but the most important thing is you need to have an information. A lot of traders are coming into the forex market to look for an opportunity. Like I rightly said, see, there's no opportunity. You can't come and look for. My dad told me, he said, when you hear about an opportunity at any point in time, take it or leave it. It is already too late. It is what? It is too late. Let me give you analysis. All right. Let me just get this off. Okay. Let's take, for instance, look at this spot. Let's assume this is where the market begins to move. Okay. All right. From this point, the market moves up to this point. Hey, please look at it. I'm explaining a basic logic of what we experience on our day-to-day activity. Take for instance, the market begins to move, and you say, "Wow, it's a buy." Everybody gets into the market. It's buying now. It's buying now. You need to buy this. You need to buy euro, US dollars. It's moving up. The buy is already active, and at this point, you are buying for, say, this guy bought right here for $5. Sorry, I can't use my mouse properly. Let me just get this off and use something better. Okay, this guy bought for $5, right? At this point, he bought this market at this point for $5. Please follow me, okay? Now, and he tells the next guy, Mr. B, "Hey, Mr. B, do you know what? I just got into the forex market and I bought an iPhone." Yeah, let's use this, an iPhone. He bought an iPhone. I know it's not possible, okay, but he won't buy an iPhone for $5, okay? All right, he bought an iPhone for $5 right here at this point, okay? Now, and he goes home and tells Mr. B, "Do you know iPhone has gone down? I just bought an iPhone for $5. The buy is active." Now, Mr. B decides to come into the market, right? At this point in time, okay? Are you with me? Mr. B got into the market, and at the point he got into the market, the price are already gone for, say, $10. The price gone for $10. Okay? Now, he goes back home. See, there's an opportunity. iPhone is sold for $10. Mr. A bought it for how much? $5. Now, Mr. B bought it for $10. Oh, the price is still very accommodative. I can still buy it for $10. And eventually, he gets into the market looking for an opportunity. If you miss this opportunity, you missed everything. And he gets into the market at this point. How much do you think he's going to buy the iPhone? Probably $20. Okay? Can you see? The prices at point entry of the first individual is different from the entry of the second person that is looking for an opportunity. The individual that bought for $5 only got into the market because he understands the information that iPhone will soon go up. So he bought it at a cheaper rate. Okay? Probably he bought 20. Mr. B gets into the market. An opportunity. iPhone is going up. He bought it for $10. Okay? Now, at this point where Mr. C gets into the market, he now buys the iPhone for $20, hoping and thinking that the market will begin to go up. But look at what happened. The market came down. Who had the loss? Mr. A, Mr. B, or Mr. C? So you begin to have a picture that, well, the way the market itself is wrong. Is not for those that are looking for opportunities. Please, take it anywhere. When you are a trader in the Forex market and you are looking for an opportunity to buy, you are looking for, give me an opportunity and I will buy it. You will never see a point of entry that is going to be favorable. You may eventually run in a loss. So please, it is very, very important that you understand these basic precepts. Very, very important. Please, don't joke with it. The only thing you need as a beginner, as a Forex trader who wants to understand the Forex market, is you need the information. Okay? You need the information, and the information is only with the big guys. The big guys. See, a lot of you think the information is the economic calendar. No. Those economic calendar that you see, it says the market is going to USD, those are planned intentional movement to create panic in the market. They are just intentional movement to create panic in the market. But the bigger player in the picture are the individuals that move this market. They move it. So now let's dive in a little. How do you get this information? How do you get this information? Okay? How do you get this information? So, first and foremost, you need to understand that it is not when a buyer is active you begin to buy. First and foremost, it is not when a buyer is in the market you begin to buy. A lot of you understand this, but it becomes very difficult to actually interpret. So it becomes very difficult for you to actually interpret who is actually going to the market. Now let me explain like this. How many of you will go to the market, maybe very close to your area, and your intention is to go and buy in the market, but eventually when you get into the market you discover that the only people that existed in the market are the buyers? Is it possible? I want you guys to answer. Is it possible? Is it possible for you to get into the market and the only people you find in the market are the buyers. Okay, most importantly, when you are going into the forex market, you expect to see the buyers, this guy that bought here, and you expected to see the sellers. So when at this point you get into the market, you know now this move is not just an ordinary move. Let's say Ryan Buffett is buying from here, okay, and the market begins to move. When the buy is active, please don't get into the market again. It's already gone. There's nothing you can do about it. When the buy is active, you don't need to get into the market again. It is already what? It is already gone. Now, what do you need to do is you expect at a particular point the market is going to retrace its steps back. Now, when the market retraces its steps back, there's something we call in the market support and resistance. Support and resistance. Now, let me point them out for you. At this point, market went down, right? Please, are you with me? Okay, let me clean this up. All right. At this point, market begins to move up, okay? Market begins to move up, right? Now, we begin to look what are the possible barriers that the market could face on its way up. Look at this point again. You see the market moves down at this point. The market gets here again. The market begins to react and it moves down. Eventually, this market breaks this point. Now, this point is called a point of resistance, in the market. So, the market eventually breaks this point of resistance. When it breaks this point of resistance, you don't need to get into the market again. You don't need it. The market is already gone. At this point, if you are not too fast, at this point, the market is already gone. All you need to, and you discover, okay, when you open your eyes or you open your laptop, you saw this, a bounce back at this point. I hope you guys should be able to get this properly. The market kickoffs here. You see from here, you have this information that the market moves down at this point. Okay? Now, the market kicked it back to this point of resistance. Then you begin to have an information that this point is very powerful. This point in the market is very powerful. The market came down, the buyers pushed it back up. Look at what happened again. The sellers took it back again. Now, at the third time, the buyers took it up, and eventually it broke this line of resistance, a wall of resistance. Okay? So when the market breaks this wall of resistance, the market is already gone. You begin to think, when should I get into the market? When? because I understand that from here is a move of big gate. Okay, big gate is moving. All right, eventually break this point. The market went up and gets to this point. Are you with me? Please just stick with me, okay? At this point, and the market begins to retrace its steps back. Please, just get a watch. So I'm expecting the market to sit at this support, this resistance. This place became a resistance. So I'm expecting if the market comes back to this point of resistance, if the market comes back to this point of resistance, it becomes what? It becomes a support for the market. So at this point, I begin to think it is time for me to get into the market. Right here, it's time for me to get into the market. Because I have an information that the move at this point has been broken. Okay? The move at this point has been broken. The market gets here and retraces steps back. I begin to see the market that right now it's time for me to get and join this trail of movement. Please, you need to understand this. At this point, you begin to think, it's high time for me to join this trail of movement. And look at what happened eventually. Boom, the market went up. Are you with me? So from this point that you got an entry because of the information that is circumference at this point of movement, you have this information, then you use that same information to actually get into the market and you are able to get a profit. Now look at my analysis again. Look at what I said again. Never get into the market when the buyers are active. Never get into the market. When the buyers are active, it's already too late for you to get into the market, except you have a more information of where the market is going to, which I'm going to be discussing later in the course of this training. But for now, I want you to see the picture of how the big boys actually move the markets. Are you with me, please? All right. So I never got into the market here. Please look at me. I never got into the market at this point. Let me take you back a little so that you'll be able to have a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. Now, you see where the market gets to. The market gets to this point. At this point, okay, the market bounced back. Let me have you draw that properly. Okay, the market bounced back at this point and sellers took it from here to here. Now, please look at me properly. The point where the sellers took it to, was there a data of information that we can use to get into the market? Was there any data of information that we can use to get into the market? No, there was no data. There was no information. So at that point, that place is not proper to actually get into the market. The information you need is at this point of initial resistance. At the point of initial resistance is the safer place to actually get into the market. The safest place to actually get into the market I'm sorry about that. My internet went off. Okay. I was trying to answer King's question. Now, the info of the big guys, Let's assume we saw this movement in the market. Look at this movement. Let me get back to my screenshot. Okay. All right. All right. Let's assume this is what we have. Okay. You never saw anything before this period. You never saw anything before this period. This is the only thing you have. This is the only information you have, and you saw this movement. Sorry? You saw this movement. Look at this. Boom. In the market. You saw that movement. This long green bar. You saw it in the market. From that point, you begin to ask questions. Who is doing this big move? Who is moving? Who is doing this big move? This big move that we just trade up. Who is running this big move in the market? It's the move of the big boys. It's not the traders. No traders is going to do that. The combination of all traders, they are not going to do this big move. Okay? When you saw this move in the market, you know, oh, no, this big guy is around. This big guy is around. Okay? At that point, you begin to think, now, if this big guy is around, what do I need to do? Look at this movement down. I need an information. Now, look at these sellers. They were struggling. How many bars does it take the big boy to move from here to point A? From here to here. From here to this point. How many bars? It didn't take him more than, say, 6 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bars. It took the big guy a 7th bar to move up to this point. How many bars does it take the seller to come down? You begin to count. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It took 11 bars of the sellers to get to about 40%, right? About 40% of the big boys. You begin to see this point, this movement, as the move of the big guys. The big guy is around. That's the information you need. You need to know who is doing what in the forex market before you can get in. Okay? So that is the only aspect I need to explain to you today. So if you are able to download your app on your system and you have your app, all you just need to know right now is to understand the move of the big guys in the market. If you understand that completely, that alone can fetch you a lot of money, even without any other analysis. One of my students is not here. I can't call him my student. He is my boss in the office. He saw me, I was trading while I was doing other things in the office, and I will just, from the other side, I'll just have a little knowledge of my forex trading. I just pick it up and look at what is going in the market. If I see any opportunity for me to get into the market, I get into the market. And I was making consistent income flow. So he begins to look at me and say, no, Jerry, you need to teach me this. And there was no time to actually sit him down and teach him. I only taught him. I said, see, all you just need to do is look at the market. When you begin to see certain things in the market, understand who is doing this in the market. It takes this guy to move from here to this point. It takes him 7 candles to move from here to here. It took the sellers to take it down with about 11 candles. That information alone can fetch you a lot of money. That information, that is the information you need. When you know this information, no, I know this guy that moves up here is the guy with the money. Is the guy that is ready to run. Okay, I don't know if I still have more time. I'll tell you the story of a rubber band man. That is some of the things that I've learned and I've been able to use to help me in the forex market. The rubber band man. Let's take for instance, I am here. All right. Okay, this is me. I'm running. I need to run. I'm running from point A to point B. My movement from point A to point B and the rubber around my waist pulled me back to this point. What is the percentage of me running from this point to this point with my rest from here to here? What is the percentage? Probably 40%, right? Or 30%. Let's say 30%. I run 100% and I move back about 30% backwards. Do you think I'm tired? I'm tired of running. If I run 100% and I rested for 30%, do you think I am tired of taking my next run? No. So when I see this opportunity to rest, I get into the market and I took this run again. Look at this run. Look at my next run. The next run, I took it up to that point. Please, are you understanding this? If you don't understand, please call my attention to it. I took it to this point. Okay? Now, the percentage of my run with my next rest, what is the percentage? I run from here and I rested the whole time, even lesser than the time I had picked a rest. So, but I don't want it to look very clumsy to you. You only need to understand the move, who is moving what in the market. So you understand that this move from here to here is not an ordinary move, it's the move of the big guys. Okay? So when you see that, you need a point of rest. For me, here is a point of my rest for me to get into the market, and it took me up here. Do you understand? Now let's have these points as an information point. Let's say the market has gone from here, this point, as an information. I guess I need to get prepared to run. I don't want this video to be too long, but I need you to have that information you need. Point A, point B, rested around this region. Okay, rested around this area. Now took it to point C. Are you with me? Now, when it came down back to point, this initial point, the market begins to react again. It shows that the big boy, the big guy is not done. So all this information, you really need to process them. When you have this information, you'll be able to run. Now, look at what I was explaining. The big guy took it up, down to this point again. Initial point of resistance. Initial point of resistance. Please, are you having this information? Initial point of resistance, and begins to react. Now his reaction took it back to the initial point of resistance, which has now become a support for him, a resting stool for him to take it back up. So when I have this information right here, this is my point of entry to join the big guys. If I enter at this point, I am safe. I won't lose any money. Because the big guy will not allow this big guy that moved from here, that started his move at this point. The big guy that started his move right at this point will not allow the market to go against him. So at this point, I am covered. to actually join the trail of the big guys, under the shadow of the big guys, to actually sell the market. So when the market begins to react in a certain way, when the market begins to react in a certain way, I think now it's time for me to get out of the market. Probably the big boy is tired. So these are the information you need. So for my assignment for you guys is that try as much as possible. By next week we will be having as a next webinar. I'll be treating another topic. Since we have the information of the big boys, you know that it's the big boys that is doing this movement in the market. Then we will have, my next training is how to take advantage of these points in the market and join the big trail. Okay, so all you need to do before next week is that try as much as possible to go through all the charts. Euro USD, look at the move, understand the move of the big guys. Euro USD, understand this move, upward movement, the big guys moving. AUD USD, sorry, where's the big guy? Where's the move of the big guy? The big guy. This is a news that happened. Okay, all these are information. AUD USD, all you just need to do is first and foremost understand the big guys. Where are the big guys in the market? When you are able to identify them, then you can be ready to buy them. Okay, when you are able to understand them, you are ready to join their trail. So this is Bitcoin. So all of you, let me give you an information about Bitcoin. Those that are actually thinking of buying Bitcoin right now, I think they should still hold on, because I believe Bitcoin is still going to fall to a point of resistance where it picked up from last year. Okay, so if you are buying Bitcoin now, you might actually lose a lot of money. So I'm expecting the Bitcoin to still process its movement downward to these points. So can you see all these points? So if it gets down around here and eventually breaks, expect it to still go down before you buy Bitcoin. Okay, so I guess that will be the information I have for you today. Hopefully by Saturday I will be able to actually address other issues. But if you have any questions, please try as much as possible to put them in the comments below. Okay, then I'll be able to attend to them as soon as possible. All right, so I hope you have been able to understand today's information, the move of the big guys, and how to actually take certain decisions when it comes to the big guy. But for now, all you need to do is understand where is the big guy in the market. Where is the big guy? You can rightly point them out and just draw a pen and slightly mark them and say, okay, this is the big guy, this is the big guy, this is the big guy. When you understand that and you have that information, hey, you're ready to roll. You're ready to walk and roll. So I wish you guys best of luck. Keep your comments coming, keep your questions coming, then we'll be able to treat them by next week. All right, hopefully by next week that will be the first thing I'll be talking about. So I need to see a lot of questions. Okay, I wish you guys best of luck. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.